is a disease that affects the small intestine. It is a genetic disease, so people who have it are born with it. The small intestine is lined with villi, which absorb nutrients. Celiac causes the villi to be damaged, and the villi can't absorb the right nutrients. Some of the symptoms of celiac include abdominal cramps, dehydration, energy loss, fatigue, mouth sores, muscle cramping, dry skin, depression, mood changes, bone disease, iron deficiency anemia, and in children, slow development and weight loss or gain. Some people, however, have hardly any or no symptoms at all. Celiac is one of the most underdiagnosed diseases, so as doctors are becoming more aware of celiac, they diagnose celiac through a process. If the patient is experiencing some of the symptoms, doctors may perform a blood test. If the results of the blood test come back positive, the doctor may perform an intestinal biopsy, because a blood test is not completely reliable. During the biopsy, the patient is put under and the doctor eases a tube down the throat and stomach and into the small intestine. The doctor will then take a sample of the small intestine to test.
If you're one of those unlucky people who can't eat products made of wheat, rye or millets because you suffer from an autoimmune disease which prevents
prevalent in most wheat-eating countries. An estimated 1% of the population is affected by the disease, but 97% of cases remain undiagnosed.
People who have just minor gastric complaints, they are either suffering from bloating or heartburn, so they may not be actually allergic to wheat, or they may not be actual celiacs, but they're not very happy with wheat. And elimination of wheat we find very often helps in restoring their condition.
But don't worry, a gluten-free diet can rescue you. Gluten-free foods containing millets, rice, jowar, bajra, corn, pulses, soya and dals are healthier alternatives.
We're going to use a mixture of 3 starches, potato, tapioca and rice. That's about 6 cups of rice flour which go into the bowl. Then we have xanthan gum.
In celiac disease, a protein in wheat, barley, and rye called gluten triggers destruction of tiny hair-like protrusions called villi in the small intestine. Normally, villi allow vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients to be absorbed through the wall of the small intestine into the bloodstream. In celiac disease, gluten triggers the immune system to damage or destroy the villi. Instead of being absorbed, fats, proteins, minerals, and vitamins are eliminated in the stool. Decreased absorption of nutrients, or malabsorption, can cause malnutrition and other long-term problems.
Benefits of using a gluten-free diet, but a lot of times the word celiac disease has been used inappropriately. So let's talk about what is celiac disease, just because there's a lot of confusion about it. So celiac disease is an immune-mediated systemic disorder. Basically, your body has a reaction to gluten that causes a lot of different symptoms, which we'll talk about. Now, a lot of times people have GI symptoms, but some people may not have any GI symptoms, like abdominal pain or diarrhea. And just because you don't doesn't mean you don't have celiac disease. Now, what are the symptoms and signs associated with celiac disease? Well, celiac disease can make you feel pretty horrible because it can have multiple effects on many deficiencies for the body. For example, it can cause vitamin D deficiency, it can cause iron deficiency, it can also lead to poor deposition of calcium within the bones, so causing osteopenia or osteoporosis, otherwise known as weak bones. In addition to all this, you can have diarrhea, you can have recurrent abdominal pain, you can have weight loss, all